Roman Reigns is a guy who divides opinion quite a lot. Some people love him, some people hate him, but right now it's undisputed he is the best part of WWE. Roman Reigns is the reason why SmackDown is so interesting. Roman Reigns is why the Universal title feels like an actual world title. Roman Reigns is the reason why we actually care about him and what he does. But a few years ago, it wasn't like that. In 2015, Vince McMahon and WWE wanted to present Roman Reigns as the next top wrestling star. Despite them thinking that Roman was WWE's next star, the fans didn't agree so much. Reigns got booed out of the building when he won the 2015 Royal Rumble, to the point where not even a surprise appearance by The Rock could save his sorry Samoan ass. Over the coming years, world titles and huge matches would be handed to Reigns. Wins over legends such as John Cena and The Undertaker, and many top tier feuds. But still, WWE fans just couldn't get behind this guy as a babyface. All these years later came 2020. Roman Reigns was set to face Goldberg at the upcoming WrestleMania. WrestleMania at the time was scheduled to take place in front of thousands of people in Tampa Bay. On March 16th, 2020, WWE announced that WrestleMania 36 would take place in the Performance Center in front of no fans due to the ongoing pandemic. After this announcement, Roman Reigns announced that he would not participate at WrestleMania 36 because he wanted to focus on his family. Reigns was then replaced by Braun Strowman, who went on to beat Goldberg at WrestleMania. Reigns continued his hiatus until he finally returned at SummerSlam 2020. Reigns attacked Braun Strowman and The Fiend, and it appeared he was returning with a new attitude and looking as jacked as ever. From SummerSlam to now, this man has been on an absolute tear. He's a force. There is no one on his level in any wrestling promotion, no matter what you think of the guy. After SummerSlam, a triple threat match was made for payback between Reigns, Strowman, and The Fiend for the Universal Championship. Mind you, Payback only had a 1 week build, and what an impact Reigns made in that 1 week. Reigns aligned himself with Paul Heyman on SmackDown, and now it was glaringly obvious that Reigns was a full-fledged heel. The alignment with Paul Heyman was unexpected, but at the same time, it left us with so many unanswered questions. Reigns won the Universal Championship at Payback 2020. He didn't sign the contract for the match until the latter stages, where he would come in and win at the end. After winning the title, Reigns then moved into a feud with his cousin Jey Uso. Now, I always talk about how matches can be amazing, but if there's no story, there's no meaning in the grand scheme of things. Reigns and Uso handled the storytelling portion to a T. Going back to their Samoan heritage and family roots, Uso and Reigns told us a story about the lineage of their family and the high standard that Reigns was held in. Reigns felt so rejuvenated as this new character when he asked people to acknowledge him as the tribal chief. At Clash of Champions, the match between himself and Uso was storytelling at its finest. There were points in the match where Reigns was just wailing on Uso, telling him to acknowledge him as the head of the table. This just made you want to see him get his ass handed to him. Reigns, that is. All qualities of a good heel. When a heel is doing things that entice an emotion inside you, they are doing their job. This match felt uneasy at times, but it told a great story. From there, things only got better for Reigns. Uso and Reigns had a rematch at Hell in a Cell in an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell. This match divided a lot of opinion, but without a doubt, it's one of the matches of the year. Reigns as a heel is just so believable. His mannerisms are so well played. We're used to seeing him as a guy who's always smiling and making funny comments here and there, but when he slows his voice down, keeps the same facial expression, and acts like he owns the place, there is no one, and I mean no one, in any wrestling company on his level. Hell in a Cell was one of the greatest storytelling matches ever. Reigns was reluctant to hurt his own blood, but as the match wore on, he became more vicious. The key point being when Reigns was about to drop steel steps on Jey, here's when Jimmy came in, shielding his brother and telling Roman to remember who the hell he was. He told him, "This is Josh." Josh was the one who he was about to drop steel steps on. He told him to remember who he was and remember who their family was. At this point, Reigns fell to the mat, starts to shed tears and says, "I don't even remember who I am anymore." Then he locks Jimmy in a guillotine and Jay says he quits, all to save his brother. That is another thing that makes Roman believable as a heel, is his moveset. Nothing flashy, just a ground and pound. After Hell in a Cell, if you didn't like this match, I don't know if you should be watching wrestling. They had every single element to what wrestling is all about: storytelling, physicality, and they invoked an emotion inside of us. You can't tell me that you had no emotions when Jimmy was protecting his brother. Since then, we've seen him become an absolute monster week by week. These are the things you kind of got to be doing when you're putting together a wrestling show. You got to leave the consumer wanting more. And that's exactly what happens every single week with Reigns. Every week we have Roman Reigns on our TV screens. We want to see what he does next. We want to know what his next actions are. The way he's winning matches currently are exactly what's been missing in WWE. Babyface and heel dynamics have been thrown out of the window in recent years, and Reigns feels like a true heel. He feels like someone who is methodically calculating his next move because he will do anything to win. His character is what makes it. He's a guy who wants to provide for his family. He knows how good he is. He knows that he is the reason why people in WWE make money. At this point, the future potential is amazing for what Reigns can do. I'm genuinely excited to see where everything goes next. This title reign has been booked perfectly. When he's gone against an opponent like McIntyre, he's won it in a fluky fashion where the other person doesn't look weak when they lose. Roman Reigns' return has single-handedly brought a fresh feel to SmackDown. The championship feels like a legitimate world title because of the person holding it. Think about the Universal title. This title was an absolute joke. It was a part-timer's title. In the middle of the year, it was a comedy feud. Look how important it feels now. The man has made the title. Him having Jey Uso fighting his battles for him only make the other person that much more likable. Just look at his feud with Kevin Owens. The star power he brings is unparalleled. Drew McIntyre has been phenomenal this year, but right now, I'm taking Roman Reigns over everyone. This is the run of his career. When he eventually does turn face, we're gonna like him a lot more. That's without a doubt, because he's proven that he can play the role very well. This is the Roman Reigns we have all wanted since he was shoved down our throats. We wanted him to prove that he was a top tier superstar. We wanted him to show that he could improve his promo skills. We wanted him to prove us wrong, and that's exactly what he's done. Roman Reigns right now is the biggest draw in wrestling who is there full time. Friday nights right now are unmissable because Roman Reigns has made it that important. It feels legitimate. You feel sorry for whoever is going against Roman Reigns because he pulls off his character so well. Roman Reigns has single-handedly rebuilt his career. It's hard to believe that a guy the majority of us were booing 5 years ago has now garnered so much respect from the majority of wrestling fans. This man is SmackDown, and this Roman Reigns is the hottest star in professional wrestling today.